everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Heather and we are a fun, fabulous sewing tutorial channel. Well, sewing, not always tutorials. We do things. I can't, you know. Okay, cool. Here we are. If you've been watching lately, we have been doing a whole bunch of back to school tutorials, and I've had a whole bunch of free patterns and all kinds of goodies so that everyone can get everybody ready for school, and it's a great day. We are switching gears just a little bit, and we're focusing on a few travel items that are a must, that I think are a must. So we're going on a trip soon, and I have a bag. I call it my airplane bag. It's just like a carry-on bag that's big and holds a lot of things. I put my like vacation purse in it, and passports, and all of our itineraries, and all the things go in this bag. I call it my airplane bag, and it's great. I've used it for years, and I made it, and I love it, and it's perfect. And if you ask Michael, I don't need another bag. But what kind of bag maker would I be if we went on vacation and I didn't match the theme of our vacation with a new bag, right? This year we are going to an island, and I'm so excited. And so obviously I have to make a bag that's island themed. Obviously. I have to. You know, I don't, but here we are. We're gonna do it together. I am gonna share all the measurements for the new airplane bag that we're gonna make today. I don't have a pattern for it or pattern pieces or anything like that, but I will tell you as we go what the measurements are, and I will also drop them in the description box of this video so that if you wanted to make this bag, you could follow along and cut out all your pieces to the measurements that I do and make a fabulous airplane bag for yourself. Because let's face it, everybody needs a new airplane bag every time they go on vacation that matches. I don't care what Michael says. You can never have too many bags, right? Right? You guys agree with me? Yes? Yes? I hope. All right, so let's head on over to the machine, take a look at our materials today, and get sewing, because I don't have a lot of time, and we have a lot of things that I want to make for this trip, and we're gonna have to really work hard at it. So we'll do that here together. Let's head on over. All right, so we are at the machine, which is a Juki TL2010Q. We're using Tex 35 weight thread in the top and the bobbin in white. We are using a Microtex 9014 needle, and we have our tank foot on, which is basically like a walking foot without all the extra bulk. And the numbers on this side are KT141. I don't tell you where I got it from because they don't sell them anymore, so it's pointless. But I do give you the information if you want to try to find one for yourself. So again, it's a tank foot for high shank machines, and the numbers on the side are KT141. All right, let's talk about materials here for a second. We have this fabulous, it just reminds me of the beach webbing. It is 1.5 inches wide. No idea where it came from, so totally unhelpful there. The webbing, you guys, is cut. We have 2 strips of this. It's cut at 58 inches in total, which gives a hang for your arm at 27.5 inches. And that's like a personal preference. So what I did was I measured my work bag, and I made sure that my straps sort of matched that, because I like where that hangs on me. So again, our straps in total, 2 pieces at 58 inches long. Okay. And then our interior is this like oatmeal color. That's like the best. That might be what it's called. I can't remember. This oatmeal color waterproof canvas. And so it's got the backing on it. And this is what we're using for our interior. This is from Your Vinyl Source. And our exterior is also from Your Vinyl Source. So it's these fabulous palm trees, and the oatmeal color just complements so well. And I'm just so excited about how everything is going to look. So our main panels, you can't even see them because they're so big, and we're like up pretty high. I just don't want to move you too far away. So our main panels exterior and interior. They are cut at 18 inches wide, 15 inches in height, and we've boxed the bottoms at 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Okay, so those are the measurements for the main panels. Again, 18 inches wide, 15 inches tall, and our boxed corner is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So that's in total. We're just going to set this one to the side for now because we're going to use that first here for a second. We are doing a slip pocket and a zip pocket. So we're going to do a zip pocket on one of our interior sides, and our slip pocket pieces, you guys, they're measured at, our zip pocket pieces are measured at 9 inches in height by 12 inches wide, and we have 2 of those. Okay, so these are our zip pockets. Again, 9 inches in height, 12 inches wide, times 2. We have 2 panels, so we can make our zip pocket. And then on the other side of our lining, we are doing a slip pocket, and I took our exterior material. This is basically what our slip pocket is going to be made of. We're going to do sort of like a bound construction. So I've also cut 2 strips of binding that are just longer than our slip pocket is. As long as it's longer, it's fine, you guys. We're going to try this. I've never actually done a slip pocket like this before, but I really wanted to use this material on the inside, and I didn't have enough to sort of double it up because I really want to make a nice big pocket that will fit sort of all of our goodies. So that's kind of what we're rolling with here today. Our slip pocket piece is 17 inches wide by 9.75 inches in height. And you know, we're probably pushing the height of this pocket a little bit, but that's okay. Like I said, I wanted to fit all the things. Like, we're gonna separate it so that it fits what we need it to fit and is nice and big and can take all of the things that we need and put them where we need them. All right, and then I'm actually gonna grab a couple of extra items. I want to attach a key holder, so we'll do that. I'll grab the pieces for that, and then we are using number 5 zipper tape today, and our main zip is cut at 17.5 inches. Okay, and then we do the 90-degree angle, and I've done these a lot, and the tab on one side. So our actual total length of our finished zipper is 17 inches. Okay, so I like to have enough space on both sides of my project so that I'm not interfering with the tab or with the 90-degree angle. So that's our zipper. We're going to use the same zipper for our interior pocket. So I am going to set aside these for now, our lining pieces. I'm going to set aside our zip for now. This is our main front panel, so we have already attached our straps. We're going to do the other main panel together, and I've added my bag tag here to it as well, just right in the center. So let me grab our other main panel and our strapping, and we'll do this step together. All right, so we've got our back panel piece, which is our piece without our nameplate on it, and we've got our strapping. So we're going to use double-sided tape here down the center. We will never sew over it, and so I'm not concerned at all about it getting stuck or anything like that. You guys know my machine struggles with double-sided tape, so we only use it when we're sure that we're not going to stitch over it. I'm actually going to go up just a little bit higher there. Grab some clips, and we're just going to start here at our box corner, and we're going 2 inches in. And I'm just kind of lining up the lines down here to make sure that it's straight. And we'll remove our double-sided tape. And we're just going to go right along our ruler. And I'm going to clip the bottom. I like a bag that has straps that goes all the way to the bottom when you know you're going to be putting a lot of things into it. Okay, there's one. And then we'll do the same thing over here. And so we just want to make sure that our strap stays going the same way. We'll get some double-sided tape. And we're making this bag very simply. It's basically like, it'll be like constructing a big pouch. Except it's going to be a really large, super useful bag for us. We're actually going to remove a bit. We did not enough and then a little too much. Okay. Grab some more clips here. There we go. All right, and then the other measurement that we need before we can start sewing is how far up we're sewing. So we're gonna come 2 inches down from the top. We're gonna make some marks because we're gonna sew all the way up to that 2-inch mark. We're just pulling it nice and close to us so we can see what's going on here. We want these to be even with the other side of the bag. So I'm just drawing 2 marks with the air erasing marker. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now we can sew. So we're just going to start with 1 and we'll go across the bottom and then up both sides. We'll pivot at the marks that we made. And I always backstitch. And we're coming up to those marks. And we'll pivot. And straight across to the other mark. And back down again. That's how easy it is. I just think it secures them really well. Obviously we're going to stitch the bottoms together too, so it gives you a lot of stability. And we're just sewing at about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. It's right around the edges. We're using white thread, so you will not actually ever see our stitching. You could also secure rivets in here, and we might do that through the lining and the exterior later. I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't know. All right, so that is all set. We can take our top clips off. We're just going to trim up our bottoms here. This is material that frays pretty fiercely, so we're going to hit it with some heat to stop the fray. And then we're going to build our pockets on our interior. All right, so we're going to start with our slip pocket side. And basically what I'm doing right now is I'm folding over the sides by about 1/2 inch, and I'm going to clip them for the time being. And this is a vinyl that we're using, so it does not need to be backed with anything. The back of it is nice as it is. This bag is for me, so I really wanted it to have this really fun print on the inside. That was more important to me than having the slip pocket be lined, so that's what we're going with. Now, you might be wondering, what are we doing? We're actually going to bind the top and the bottom to give it a more finished look. So that's why it didn't really matter if your binding was the same size or not, just had to be at least the same length. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew this on the binding. It's a 1 inch wide. We made it. I know we never make binding. I'm gonna sew it on at 1/4 inch. So I've got the right sides together. I'm gonna sew it across the top at 1/4 inch so that we can then fold it down and create sort of that binding, that traditional binding that we're used to. I've actually never done this before, so I've never created binding. We'll see how it goes. Okay, and that will hold down our folds too. up here, see? Which is exactly what we're hoping for. Now, we're going to flip this up. It works, but I don't know, you guys. Maybe we needed our binding to be a little bit wider, right? Well, that's okay. Like I said, it's for me. If you're gonna do this, definitely make your binding wider. Just go ahead and fold it over all the way down so that we can stitch her on. Okay, so we're all clipped, and it's not bad. It is still super cute. I'm actually going to stitch from this side so that I can make sure that we get this side of it sort of all set. So I'm going to put the right side down on our machine. I just want to make sure that we catch this underside of the binding. And we're just going to take our time. Make sure nothing really moves on us. So I guess maybe you want to make your binding 2 inches wide so that you can fold it over. Learn from my oopsies. This is waterproof canvas, so it's not going to fray. It's not like a cotton or anything like that. Again, it's for me, so it's fine. But since that didn't work, you guys, well, it did. I mean, it's super cute. Look at it. Oh my gosh, look at our stitching. Can you see that? So stinking cute. Well, since it didn't work like we thought it was, instead of using this binding piece on the bottom, I'm going to scrap that, and we will just fold in our vinyl piece on the bottom, much like we folded in the sides, and we'll cut off the excess, the corners here, to make it sort of lie flat. So when you get to this corner, you can see we've got like this little lump, and we're just going to trim it. It'll fold in on itself. There you go. All right, I'm going to do the same thing over here on this side, and then we will align our pocket in place. All right, so our pocket is in place. It is looking super cute. We're just using our hockey tape, which is our most unconventional, most used sewing item. We have a hockey player here, and we have lots and lots of hockey tape just laying around. So basically all I've done, you guys, is just centered our pocket. And I actually need to fix this side over here. So I've just centered our pocket and made it so that it's even. It takes up so much of our lining piece that it's really easy to center. We just came about 1.5 inches down. We have enough space down here to box our corners. It's not going to get in the way of the bottom at all. So, and then we just made sure that we had the same spacing on both sides, okay? All right, so we're just gonna sew down all the sides except the bound side at the top, which will finish off our pocket. And you just want to sew really good here at the top because those are sort of the pressure points. Again, here you could put rivets if you wanted. And we don't want to sew over the hockey tape, so we just want to make sure that we move it first. It should come right off, no issues. Okay, and then we're going to go across the bottom. Again, as we get to that hockey tape, we're just gonna peel it right off. I have accidentally sewn through it before. It was not the end of the world, but it made it more difficult. Back up here at the top, we're going to do that good back stitching. And I'm going to split this pocket into two. So I think I'm going to do one that's sort of smaller and one that's a little bit bigger. And I'm just kind of like eyeballing, and we're just going to go straight down. That way I can keep my sunglasses in one maybe, and I don't know, we'll figure out what else in the other. Again, that back stitching. And you can measure this if you want. Obviously, I'm just kind of winging it. There we go. two extremely usable, super good size slip pockets. The only other thing that we're gonna do here is, actually we're gonna attach our key fob to the back. So this is all set. We're gonna set it to the side. We're gonna grab everything we need for our other lining panel and zip pocket. All right, so we have our other lining panel, main lining panel, our two zip lining panels, and our second one is attached here already. So it is right side down. It is 1.5 inches from the top, and then we've drawn a 10-inch zipper box 1.5 inches from the top of our lining piece. So that's what we're sticking with. Our zipper panel piece is 1.5 inches down from the top of our main lining, okay? And our zipper pocket, which is 10 inches long, is 1.5 inches from the top of our zipper panel piece. Did a bad job cutting, so it looks uneven, but I don't think it is. We're just gonna stitch around this entire zip box. We're doing an easy peasy zip pocket here. So no zip overlays or anything like that. We're just going for a traditional turn zip pocket. Sometimes I like the classics, you know? But we also don't have a ton of time. So we're gonna go with our tried and true method. Beginner friendly, easy. So if you wanted to make this, is not difficult, is the first way that I ever learned how to do a zip pocket. I'm sure other people, same. I know you can't see my fingers, but I'm guiding it. It's a big piece. And so we're gonna go right back to where we started. Peel off our tape. Okay. And then in the center of our zip box, you can draw a line if you want. We are just going to sort of Y out our corners like so. And we're gonna eyeball our line down here. Grab our seam ripper, and we're gonna go right in the center. And we're just gonna rip enough so that we can get our scissors in there, and we're gonna do a straight line from the Y to the Y through both layers, our zip pocket panel piece and our main lining. And when you get to that Y, we're going to just trim up right to the edge, but not through our stitching. Same thing over here. Alright, now we are using waterproof canvas, so I'm just going to crease before we fold. Like a good zip pocket on an airplane bag, so we can keep our goodies. And then we're just going to fold it right in there. So then I'll come in and just sort of push up on that seam that we just made. Roll it with my fingers. Okay. And I'm going to do that on all the sides of our zip box. This waterproof canvas, it creases really nicely. So I'm just going to keep creasing and keep clipping until we get around the entire thing. All right, we are clipped. It looks good. I know it looks kind of crazy, but it looks good. We're going to take our zipper, and we have been struggling with double-sided tape, so I have some good stuff, but it is too good, and it really is, my machine does not like it. And then I have some stuff that is just, that doesn't stick at all. So we don't have an in-between right now. So we're gonna go a little off book here. We're just gonna hold our zipper basically where we want it, and we're gonna go for it. Okay, so you just want to make sure you put your zip pull on, and I want it to be closed to the left as I'm looking at it, and open to the right. So you put it on the right hand side, and this will match our top zip also. Okay, so basically we're gonna go with it. We cut our zipper at 12 inches in length total, so it's longer than we need, which is good. We're gonna take all of our clips off, and we're gonna stitch this baby in. I was doing a bag, and there was like a front zip pocket on it, and the double-sided tape that I was trying for the first time, I had no idea that it was gonna do what it did, and it gummed up my needle so bad. So we're living in the in-between right now. I like to start at the bottom, you guys, so we're gonna do that. And we're using thread that's white, so very similar. Gonna take a little finagling. Obviously this is not the recommended way to put in a zipper, but we're just gonna go with it because we have to. And we're just gonna keep it as centered as possible as we go stitch. And this zip tape looks, I will link this too if I didn't say that already, looks like metal, but it's nylon coil, so it is, you can sew through it. It's not gonna cause any issues to you or your sewing machine. I just like to take my time over the teeth, even though they're not metal, because that's typically where you will break a needle, if you're gonna break a needle. All right, and as we sort of sew, our zipper is going to figure out where it wants to be. And we're still just kind of like holding this in here where it should be, holding down our fabric. It does make it a little more difficult, but if you're struggling with double-sided tape, if I can hold this in, you guys, and you know I cannot do anything in a straight line, then you guys can too. going to cut off our little excess thread where we started. Oh yeah, look at that, you guys. So good. Love when it works out. See? Perfect. Okay. Now we're just going to attach our second zip pocket panel piece to our pocket itself. So we're just going to go ahead and put right sides together. And I'll clip all the way around here because we are going to stitch all the way around all 4 sides of our pocket. All right, so we're clipped on all 4 sides of our pocket. And we're gonna sew with our main lining up. And we're just gonna go around all 4 sides, like I said, and close it up. We're gonna sew about a 3/8 inch seam allowance here, but you can kind of pick and choose what you wanna sew at. It does not have to be anything particular. Just make sure that you don't get your main lining panel in your stitches. And you can see our 2 panels, they don't match up exactly at the bottom, and that's kind of always how it is when you install a zipper. It makes whatever fabric you installed the zipper on a little different than the one where you didn't. And that is all right. I think the thing that I love most about bag making is that there's no such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as the right way or the wrong way. You guys know there's your way. And whatever your way is totally fine. If it's different than mine, that's okay. If it's the same, that's okay too. Oh yeah, you guys. All done. So now we have a complete and really beautiful, if I say so myself, zip pocket. Here for it. And now we have all the pieces that we need to put our bag together. Like I said, we're basically putting this together like a giant pouch. So we're gonna grab our front panel pieces and get going here, you guys. We've got our zip, our front exterior, and our slip pocket side is gonna go on the exterior. And you know what, you guys? You know what we've almost forgot? We're gonna add our little key fob here. So we're just gonna use a 1/2 inch piece of webbing here, and we just got a gate ring in the same sort of antique coloring, and that will just hang so that we can attach keys or whatever it is that we want to attach. So I'm gonna go ahead and just baste that on before I forget again. I forgot once already. And I want to make sure that we get this on. Obviously, when we travel, we're going to have our keys in a safe spot. Okay, that's good now. Let's go ahead and find the center of our zipper. And I'm just going to make a couple of marks here. I do not like to cut into zip tape, so I'll take our air erasing marker and just make some marks. And I can see those pretty good. I think you can too. That's perfect. Our front exterior has a center marking, so we'll just find the center marking to our interior by clipping. All right, Here we go. So we're gonna take our zipper and we're gonna put the 90-degree angle to the left. That way it closes the same way as our zip pocket. And we're gonna turn this right side down, matching up the center markings of our exterior. You can baste this if you want. We are not going to. We're just gonna go for it. Not a big baster. I don't know why, but just not that into it. And you can see that's gonna give us space to close our bag. Actually, we are gonna baste. I take it back. We're a baster sometimes. When the zip is a little bit smaller, it is actually easier to baste. This will just hold it in that center place that we really need it to be in. And we'll move our zip out of the way there. I've had the idea for this bag in my head for a long time. What better time than when I'm busy trying to get ready for a trip to make it. All right, so we're basted on. Now we can attach our lining. So our right sides are going to be facing each other here. And this, I know it's really big, you guys. I'm trying really hard to show you everything. We're just going to match up the centers. And then we're going to clip our interior and exterior together all the way across. So even past where our zipper is. And then we're going to stitch it all the way across. Okay. So we are sewing over those zip teeth here on that 90-degree angle, so just take your time. Okay, and I can feel that we're coming up on our zipper pull, so we're just going to move that out of the way. And make sure that your straps are facing down. And we're going over this tab here, so we are changing levels. Perfect. And here what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch, but we're only top stitching between our 90-degree angle and our zip tab. We're not top stitching outside of that, and that will help us turn this bag really nicely. And I'm kind of just pulling and getting our material away from that zipper. I'm going to clip our material together here at the bottom. That should help it sort of stay where we want it. And we're just going to keep pulling as we go. to make sure that material stays where we want it. And we're doing that 1/8 of an inch. I'm just sort of running the inside of my foot right along the top edge of our material. And taking my time to continue to pull away our material so that it's not bunched up, it's not where we don't want it. My other airplane bag did not have a top zipper on it. And it was like good and bad. Good because I could fit a bunch of stuff. Bad because it was wide open. All right, here we are. Stitched. So cute, right? Look at our top stitching. Came out really good. So we're just gonna go ahead and attach the back panels exactly the same way that we just did the front panels. So we'll find our centers. We have the center of our interior already. Find the center of our exterior. Handles down on both sides, and we're going to take our back and put it right sides together with our front. We're going to find that center marking just like we did before, and we're going to baste on our zip again exactly the same, okay? And then we will add in our lining and top stitch. All right, this is a heavy bag. It is heavy. We are stitched together. Now, I am gonna stitch together the base first of the exterior so that we can open it up and reinforce it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and match everything up. And you don't have to do this, but I like my bags to lay flat on the bottom. Okay. So we're going to stitch this together first. And I'm going to stitch the base at a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Just going to make sure we don't skip any stitches as we go over the double layers of webbing. Good back stitching, you guys. All right. Now, we're just going to open our zip all the way. We're going to separate out that bottom seam, and we want it to lie flat. So we're going to have to help it, obviously. We're going to stitch down one side and then the other. This definitely makes the bag a little more difficult, but like I said, I like when our seam lies flat. So this is not necessary, but if you want to give it a try, might as well. We're just going to sew 1/8 of an inch away from our middle seam on both sides. And I'm just reaching under here and flattening everything out. And this is the bottom of the bag, you guys, so no one's gonna see it. You could take this opportunity to stitch in some interfacing if you wanted. Just move everything out of your way. Okay, same thing down the other side, and then your base panel will be all set. All right, you guys, we can go ahead and put our bag together. Just gonna move our zip pull to the center. Line up our exterior sides and our interior sides, and I can't show you because it's so big, but we're gonna clip everything, keeping in mind that we're gonna leave an opening here in our lining bottom to turn our bag. But this is basically the last step, and so the most important piece here is that we're matching up our tops, okay, so that we get a nice even top of our bag all the way. I'll do that on the other side, and then I'll go down and make sure that everything is all clipped together, and we will start to sew this giant bag together. All right, we're all clipped together, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on a lining side, and we're gonna sew all the way through to the corner of the exterior. We'll flip and do the same thing for the other side, and then we'll stitch our little bits here on the bottom. I'm just gonna change the camera angle so you can see the stitching a little bit differently, sort of mix it up a little bit, and then we'll get going. And I am gonna stitch our sides at a 1/4 inch seam allowance, even though I did the base at a 3/8 inch. It shouldn't make too big of a difference. I like the 1/4 on the sides because I think it makes the bag come together better. Plus, we only left that much space in between the edges of the bag and either the tab to the zipper or the 90 degrees. So we just want to be really mindful of that. All right, so then the last thing that we need to do before we can turn our bag and see what we've got is box our corners. So we are just going to line up our centers, and we're going to butterfly open our seams here. Nope, we're going to nest because we need to close our base panel. So nesting is just putting them sort of opposite directions. And I'm going to show you on one corner, and then I'll just do the others because it's exactly the same. So okay. I'm not always the best cutter, which if you've watched me, you know. Straight lines are not my thing. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and we're going to stitch this at that 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, just like we did the base. All right, and for this one we will cut off our excess material. Give us a little more space in the bag. I'm going to go ahead and close up our other interior corner and both of our exterior corners. And then we will turn the bag out and close up our opening. All right, so I did one of our exterior panels, and I just wanted to show you guys, I'm gonna do 2 rows of stitching on our exterior, and that is gonna make it so that we don't see any sort of side seams or our stitching or anything like that. And I just wanted to show you what that looks like when we do the 2 lines right next to each other. And doing the 2.5 inch corners gives us a 5 inch deep bag, you guys. So like I said, it's a big bag. Like it definitely is. Okay. Still doing that nice back stitch. So that's our first one, and then we're just gonna go right next to it, literally right next to it, drop our needle down, just do a second line of stitching, and that will make it so that we don't pull on these stitches. You know, if we get a couple extra souvenirs. And I'm not gonna trim our exterior down at all. All right, let's see if I can get you guys to a spot where we can see. We're just gonna go ahead and reach in our opening, open our zipper all the way. We're gonna grab down from one of these corners on our exterior, sort of smush and pull. Not too hard, not too soft, in the middle somewhere. Birthing a bag is no joke, you guys. That's why I bind so many bags, because this is, it's a lot. It does come eventually. Almost, you guys, almost. Okay. So this is why we did some really good back stitching on our turn hole, because I knew we were gonna put a lot on it. Whew. Sweating. All right, we're gonna reach in here, poke out those corners. Corner's hiding. Like, where is it? Okay. We've got to push out our sides up top here. So where our zip tab is, we've got to sort of smush that out. I'm just kind of rolling it. All right. Now we'll come down here and sit back down. Oh, standing. Punch out our corners down here. Okay. Now we can close our bag, and to do that, we're just going to stick our fingers right in the hole that we left open and clip. Just make sure that you're not clipping too far. right, we're just gonna stitch down this opening and then our bag will be complete. And we can take a look at it all finished in a different shot where we can see everything. It's so big. I feel like you haven't been able to see the whole thing the whole time we've been over here. I can't see the whole thing, so. Alright guys, let's head on over to the finish table, take a look at our bag all together. Alright you guys, are you ready to see the final product? Yes! I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, I will probably add some rivets before we go, but here we go. Here's the inside. So we've got this key ring back here, and then we've got our giant zip pocket, and then on the front we've got our double-sided slip pocket. So we've got our larger one, and then we've got our smaller one, and a super big roomy interior that should hold all of our goodies. And here we go. Is this palm tree combo and this oatmeal not the cutest thing that you've ever seen? I like can't get over how cute it is. I'm so excited. And this right here, this is why every bag maker needs a new airplane bag every time they go somewhere, because hello, if I didn't have this, what would I have? What would I have? Oh, okay. So I will make sure again that I put all of the measurements in the description. I won't be putting like the instructions that I go over in the video. You'll have to watch the video for that. If you like fast forwarded to the end to see what it would look like, you're gonna have to just watch, but I will include the measurements. It is a beginner friendly tote bag, you guys. You can totally make this at any level that you are. Sewist, if you are intermediate or advanced, you're going to be able to make these really fast. And if you're a beginner, it might take you a little bit longer, but if you just focus down on it, maybe you do a slip pocket different or so. I sort of made things a little more difficult than they had to be. We sew down the bottom. You don't have to do that, but there are so many things that you can do. This is definitely beginner friendly. This will help you with your bag making skills. It's not something you need a pattern for, and you can kind of make it your own. You can do whatever you'd like. If I had more material or more time, I probably would have put a pocket on the front for like my cell phone, but that's okay because I'm gonna have another bag, purse that I'm gonna have sort of inside of this bag when we're traveling, and then I'll take it out and that will be the bag that I take with me all the time. So I'm not really too worried about that. Plus, I am gonna use the material for something else that I will share with you guys before our trip, of course, because it is something that was on the back to school list that I didn't get to in the back to school tutorial. So it's kind of like back to school / travel because I'm using it for travel, but it could be used for back to school as well. So we will add that, and we used our leftover material for that project. So it is what it is. I love it the way that it is. I think it's great. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are too. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you guys, and you know that, but I like to tell you anyways because everybody loves to feel appreciated, and I certainly appreciate you all. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great day today, and I will see you soon.